Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. Woo! All right, so the topic of this video, in a meandering and roundabout me sort of way, is do old guys really lose their legs? Is it true that when you get older that you're not going to be able to build legs anymore? You're not going to have any more legs. Is that reality? It's not reality. It's not reality. It's bullshit. It's a lie, like anything else, like all the rest of it. It's falsehood. Oh my gosh. So, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're an older guy, you need to be squatting. Hang on. I'm going to leave it at that. If you're an older dude, you need to be squatting. If you're not doing squats, start doing squats, for God's sake. Why aren't you squatting? Why don't you squat? Do you do stiff leg deadlifts? Like for your hamstrings, do you do stiff legs? I love them for hamstrings. I love them for hamstrings. Do you do them? No, you don't do them. You probably do all kinds of different leg curls, right? Because you have equipment and machines for that. But do you wrap your dick beaters around a barbell and do stiff legs? Probably not. Do you squat? The truth is that most older guys don't squat. Nowadays, shit, most people don't squat. Of course, there are plenty of people that do, but the majority, they don't. Go into any gym, you can see that. I'll tell you right now, old guys, between you and me, I've been in shape, I've been out of shape as an older guy. I'm getting in really good shape right now. And I can tell you that there's a dramatic difference. There's a huge difference between the you that you think you are and the you that you really are. I'm telling you, there's a big difference. And I know it's not something we want everybody to know, right? But it's true. I mean, and that applies to everybody. A lot of young guys out there, they ain't nowhere near who they think they are at all. They have nothing to measure it against, right? Because you see how they roll. But, and there are outliers everywhere. So you could be an awesome younger guy. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your contemporaries. Take a look around you. Take a look around you. So if you're not squatting, I'm going to tell you right now, the same thing as if you're really overweight. If you're carrying too much body fat. How much is too much? You know how much is too much. If you're carrying too much body fat, listen, man, you might have been the baddest thing walking back in the day. And maybe that doesn't matter to you now. And if it doesn't matter to you, then great, this doesn't apply to you. But if it matters, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're carrying around an excessive amount of body fat, you're not going to throw down like you used to. I don't give a shit what you think you still are in your heart and in your head. It's not reality. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man. You got to get that fat off. You got to get it off. What are you carrying it around for? It's the same deal with if you're not squatting and you're not deadlifting. If you're not squatting, you're not doing some kind of deadlift, something multi-joint, these multiple joint movements. These multi-joint movements. Squats and deadlifts. Listen, train at home, man. If you don't want to be the guy in the gym that's only got the bar on his back doing squats, right? Because we want to go ass to grass. We want to go ass to grass. Why do you want to go ass to grass? That's too hazardous. Parallel's good enough. No, it isn't. It's not. Not for us, it's not. Because do you only have to bend down to parallel in life? When you kneel down, bend down, squat down, can you stop at parallel to do everything you ever need to do? Is that all the maintenance you need to perform? Do you just open and close your front door in your house, your screen door? Do you open it halfway and slip through? No, you open it all the way up and you go in the house. The door needs to function throughout its entire range of motion. That whole range of movement. You don't want any rust. Rust never sleeps. Same thing with your joints, man. Oh, but I can't do stiff legs. They hurt my hips. They hurt my back. I've got arthritis. I've got this. I've got that. Well, you think you're alone? You're not alone. Every time I stopped worrying about going to the doctor and asking them these kind of questions, because every time you go and ask the man something, what they tell you is, well, at your age, that's what they start off with. Well, at your age, You know, just like when I had this knee surgery. I had this knee surgery a couple years ago now, and literally a couple years ago. And I had a couple, a little bit of issues after the knee surgery, right? I rehabbed it, but I had a few issues afterwards. Nothing drastic, but when I complained about it, he was like, well, you know, at your age, you know, you do have a little bit of arthritis in that knee. I said, whoa, hold up a minute. Aren't you the same guy that came to me in the recovery room and said to me you were all giddy and shit almost, saying how well it went and that you thought you were operating on the knee of a 30-year-old? Isn't that what you told me? Well, I don't know if that's exactly what I said. I said, I know that's exactly what you said. That's exactly what you said. So now I'm at my age, right? Now at my age, you're gonna lead off with that shit. As if your quality of life doesn't matter as much as the younger you. It mattered more then. You were more entitled to a better quality of life when you were younger, or a younger person's more entitled. That's what they're telling you. When they start off with, well, at your age, that's what they're telling you. Well, maybe you don't need to be able, you know, well, at your age, you know. So I've rehabbed it the rest of the way on my own. It's been fine, all right. You know, this left hand, it got so bad, it got to the point where I could make a fist. I've always had a hell of a grip from all the lifting and stuff. I couldn't make a fist like I was going to crack a walnut, like I used to be able to do, squeeze that hard, because it hurt. It hurt. You know why it hurt? Oh, well, you know, you got a little arthritis. That's the cover-all excuse. Oh, you got a little arthritis at your age in your hands and, you know, in your fingers and your hands and stuff. You know, maybe you might be a candidate to we could give you a shot, put something in there. Yeah, no thanks. So you know what I started doing? This was a few months back, near the beginning of the year, I guess, right? I told you what I started doing. I started squeezing it as hard as I could every day. If I couldn't pull it all the way shut, I balled it up and squeezed the fuck out of it. And I kept doing this every day, and it hurt like a son of a bitch, it hurt. And it would hurt for a couple hours afterwards. In fact, it would hurt so bad afterwards that if I was in bed at night squeezing it really hard, right, I would have to lay it open on the bed, palm down, to hold it open so that it could get enough relief that then it could relax and I could go to sleep. That's how bad it hurt. Well, you know what the end result was? I figured, well, I'm either going to make it a whole lot worse or it's going to improve. And guess what? It's fixed. It's fucking fixed. Yeah. Arthritis, huh? Okay. So yeah, I got a little bit of it in one of my hips, allegedly. I probably got it in whatever aches they're going to tell me I got it, right? So I'm doing stiff legs, and they're really good for your hips. They're real good for your hips, the way I do them anyway, and they're really good for your lower back. So I'm doing stiff legs, and then now take your time, just like with squats. Get into it very slowly, man. Use just a freaking bar. Start out with dumbbells, for Christ's sake. If you don't have dumbbells, use a plate. Put a plate in each hand and do stiff legs with that. Doesn't matter if it's a 10 in each hand. That's 20 more pounds total than what you're doing it with now, right? Can you touch your fucking toes? Can you bend? Can you lean over and touch your toes 10 times? If you can do that, then you can do a stiff leg. You can do a stiff leg deadlift. Not straight leg, not with the knees locked, but stiff leg. Got a little bend in there. How much bend, you ask? Well, how much bend is going to depend on where you're trying to place the accent of the stress from the exercise. As I put a little more bend or a little less bend, or I lean further out from my toes or further into my toes if I come really close to my shins, versus if I reach out a little bit further when I bend over, it shifts the primary focus, the target of that stress, of that primary stress on my hamstring, on my glutes. So start out with, when you get to a bar, you graduate to using a bar, just use the bar. Listen, the time for it being about weight, how much weight you can move, ego lifting, that's past now. That's past. We can't afford to do that now. But you can't afford to do nothing either. Here's what I really find ironic. If a motherfucker, if his fucking joint hurt every time he got an erection, is he just going to stop fucking? You know what I mean? If you were some kind of perverted motherfucker, beat your shit into fucking door jams or whatever you did to it, you fucked it up, and it hurts every time it gets hard or whatever, if that were the case, would you stop having erections? Of course not. Look at all the drugs that they make for dudes with erectile dysfunction, which runs rampant now. You young guys getting it now. And that's a whole other video, and that's all about the shit that's in the water that you're drinking and all kind of other fucking bullshit. Well, I don't drink water. I drink bottled water. I don't drink it out of the tap. Yeah? Is it a nice clear bottle? Is it like really spiffy looking, more expensive looking bottle where it's clear as glass? Mm-hmm. Guess what chemical they use to arrive at that? Yeah. That's a whole other video. And the same chemical I'm talking about, just as a sidebar, they 200 nanograms per deciliter is enough to turn a male frog into a female frog. Completely. Yeah. Guess how much they allow is allowable in the U.S. in your drinking water for humans? Guess how much? 2,000 nanograms per deciliter. Guess how much is allowed in Europe in their drinking water? Guess. None. Zero. There's no safe limit there. It's not allowed at all. That's why certain bottled waters made here in the U.S. are not even allowed to be imported into Europe. Yeah, so there's a whole lot that goes on we don't even know about. But yet YouTube Fitness, all these guys telling you, biohackers and all this fucking bullshit. Bullshit. These fucking dudes don't even know how to survive the current environment in which we all just live every day, much less biohacking, right? Ridiculous, absolutely pompous, ridiculous bullshit. Anyway, do your squats, do your deadlifts. Yeah, it hurts. Some things hurt. If you ever get to the point where it kind of hurts a little bit to breathe, what's your solution? You're just going to stop breathing? Now I know you got to breathe or you die. If you don't squat and you don't deadlift, that doesn't mean you're going to die. But this is YouTube Fitness, and I'm assuming you have some interest in fitness to be watching this. So if you want to be fit, you need to be able to remain as fully functionable as you possibly can for as long as you can. That's what fitness is. Fit for what? Fit for life. So you squat all the way down and all the way up, full range of motion. You don't have to put a bunch of weight on. Like I said, start out with a bar, start out with dumbbells, start out with a plate in each hand, whatever the fuck. Same thing with your stiff leg deadlifts. You squat all the way down because you're going to need to bend all the way down. You're going to need to bend all the way down, pick something up off the ground at some point, or pull something up out of the ground, or whatever have you. Anyway, that's all I got to say on that. If you're doing legs and you're not squatting, particularly, if you're not squatting, man, and you're an older guy, your legs probably aren't really that strong as you think that they are, just because you're using machines. Yeah, if you really want to know, it's just like the deadlift, right? Even just the regular conventional deadlift. You can't bullshit that weight up off the floor. That weight, it's inanimate. It doesn't care one way or the other if you can lift it or you can't lift it. But you're not going to bullshit it up. You're not going to talk it up. You can make all the noise that you want and every other fucking thing and beat on your chest. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to pick that weight up. That's not going to make it easier to pick that weight up, I would say. You either can pick it up or you can't pick it up. It's an honest lift. It's honest truth. Just like the bench press. Just like squats. All right, that's it. That's all I got to say. And I'll tell you what I find. I warm up with some unilateral leg extensions, one leg at a time, lightweight, high reps, and then I do my squats. And I'll return to finish off to do actual sincere work on leg extension afterwards, and my knees are so much warmer and so much smoother functioning after that, after the squat. Why? Because that's a natural movement. That is a 100% natural movement. It's a multi-joint natural movement. You're designed to be able to squat down. All right, I'm out of here. You guys take it easy, and we're going to get into it tomorrow night, get into a good one. I want to do a video about old man chest. Can you get rid of it? That flabby old man chest everybody gets? I had it earlier this year. I had it, dude. I had it. There's even a picture up of me with it. And guess what? There's a picture up of me now without it. So, a lot of things you think, you know, these falsehoods that people have you believing. Nah. If you believe it, you can achieve it. If you really want it, that's what it boils down to. Take care. Have a great night.